close it.
She started back.
So how did you get the door to stay closed?
Yeah, we tied some socks together to get around the door so we could hold it shut.
Socks.
And, we got to Ringo and the, justice of, well, first of all, we drove through and put our arm out the window to get blood tests, which that's what they did back then. And, then we went to the, justice of the peace, and he was 90-something, and he was bedridden. And so his, nurse got his hand and signed
Are you making this
No,
up?
I've heard this before.
signed the marriage license. And then when we got home, we found out he died the next day.
Oh, my goodness.
So
So how old were you and Bonnie at that time?
I was 18, she was,
Well, I didn't even know you were that old.
I don't think you were you?
yeah, cause I got out of, the principal at Southwest High School dismissed me in June of that year, I think it was. So I was 18 then. I think she was 16. She says 17, but I've never done the math.
Well, if you were 17, she was
No, he was
15.
18. He was 18.
So you were married when you graduated high school?
Well, the deal about the graduation was, I had been suspended on the senior trip, so
Down to Callaway Gardens?
yeah, so I wasn't able to participate in none of that. But
I do not remember that.
I
yeah,
do.
but the principal called my mother and said, if you'll come down here and vouch for him, we'll let him graduate. And she says, I ain't going nowhere.
That's not.
That's true.
So they mailed it
Is
to
that-
me.
Oh, really? I see. I was gone. I was gone.
So
Bonnie never forgive mother for that.
yeah. I heard another version.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard that you were told you had to come down there, and so you went down there, and when the principal left the office, you looked over and saw the diploma on his desk, and just picked it up and then walked out.
That might have happened. I know he accused me of being a jailbird before I was 21.
Yeah,
The principal.
He said you would end up in jail, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I never gave him a minute piece. I heard somebody flushed a firecracker down the toilet on the second floor.
Of the high school?
Yeah, it was devastating.
Somebody.
Yeah, you have no
Yeah,
idea who.
somebody.
They could never prove it.
Well, what did you do at Callaway Gardens that got you in trouble?
Well, I took that little train off the track.
Ran it in the lake, did you?
See, I
might
have
have
never
got that
heard.
far. You had to really get up some speed to get it that far.
You tried.
Yeah, I mean, it's off the track, it didn't go very fast.
Right.
But everybody was looking for you. But you showed up with a different shirt on, right? Or turned your shirt inside out or something? So you basically got away, almost got away with it.
Except for, the principal didn't like it.
Was this Mr. Willis? Wills.
Wells,
Claude Wills.
Claude Wells. I always had popsicle drippings on his tie. You remember that?
No, I never saw him. You're the one that saw him.
He and
Now,
Ray were
is
like
it true
this.
you can't remember any of the teacher's name, but you remember the principal's name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Claude Wells. I can't call the name right now, but my history teacher
Yeah,
sticks out in my mind.
yeah.
That's good or bad?
Good.
Well, he was a good teacher, but I took the course 4 times. And finally, my senior year, he passed me. Just felt sorry.
I can't believe half of what he says.
I think that the history classes I thought were like 1, 2 higher levels each time.
No. It was all 8th grade history.
I need to make a statement here. This is the first time we've been together, all 4 of us, in a long time. And we're learning him all over again. And I think we have stories that sometimes we can't believe them all. Believe everything he says.
That's
the way
his
I remember
version.
it.
Yeah, I believe him.
I do too, with that.
So what other topic we want to go to?
Well, at that time, Kennedy was president.
So you remember the history?
Yeah, I remember that. I like history now. I like it a lot. But Kennedy was president. I was working at Blue Plate Mayonnaise. I heard that if the eggs froze at the mayonnaise that they would give us the day off.
Oh no, what'd you do?
So anyway, the eggs froze and we got to New Orleans. And, I was, going, Uncle Sam said, you got to go to Vietnam.
I know it is.
You're 3A, remember this?
No, I
You're
don't.
3A, you're going to Vietnam. And all my friends were going to Vietnam, and all of a sudden Bonnie shows up pregnant. And so they say, well, if you're married, you don't have to go to Vietnam.
Mm.
And then later on, they said, no, you're 4A, but you're going back to 3A, so you're going to Vietnam. So then she has a baby and didn't have to go to Vietnam.
Okay, I didn't.
Kennedy did that for me.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends didn't come back.
March, April,
And a
May. Yeah,
lot of
that's,
them came back all
that's 9
messed
months
up.
from when you got married, so
So
you're
who-
covered
who
math-wise.
were
Yeah,
some
we
of your
did
friends
that.
that
Johnny was
went?
May.
Do what?
Who were some of your friends that went? Do you remember the names?
Mike Kingston, he didn't come back. I heard it was friendly fire on his part. I mean,
Oh, really? I remember Mike Kingston.
yeah, and then there was, God, it slips my mind. But there's two more. Drew Genoble,
Oh, yeah.
he was pitiful, he was so ugly, but he never came back.
He didn't come back either.
And then,
That's what you remember about him.
it was so pitiful. That was back
Well, the
when
good
Rolling
news is-
Stones first came out, and he was uglier than Mike Jackson. Mick Jagger. He looked a lot alike, though.
Well, the good thing is he probably didn't have any kids, and so nobody will hear it, they'll be
And
upset.
then there was one more, Daniels, something Daniel, let me think what his name was. Anyway, he didn't come back either. And that was basically my friends, except for Brantley.
Did you, any
Yeah,
of them
Brandon, what-
come back?
Yeah, Brantley.
You had
came
friends
back,
that went,
Brantley.
that came
So
back?
Brandon went and came back?
Yeah,
Brantley did go? Brantley
Brantley.
Smith, right?
right. He lives in, Peachtree City, I think, is that right?
Oh, is it?
Now,
That's where Gil lives. You might be confusing him.
Gil.
Gil Chapman, Morel's son.
well, up there somewhere. He won't give me his address.
We're trying. I wanna go see him tomorrow.
Okay, we need to move on. Yeah,
Well, we can say that
do we
Bonnie,
still wanna talk about Ray, or?
I was gonna talk about Bonnie.
Okay.
Bonnie, they got married in '63, but she died this year, April 8th, 2025.
She got what?
She died after 62 years of marriage. That's why it's still fresh and hard for Ray.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of that sad stuff.
You wanna talk about your family or anything? Or we can go back to the,
The
visitation.
funeral.
Well, why don't we go back to visiting the funeral, cemeteries. Went to how many cemeteries? 5 or 4 yesterday.
Yesterday.
And we're gonna go to one more today.
You wouldn't believe where some of these cemeteries are.
And every single one, if Amber was here, but then he told Amber, this is for the siblings, right? But Amber knows everything about all of our,
It's Amber Davis, my daughter.
yes, and
And she's
she's,
the one behind the camera.
yes, and she's
We don't
been-
have her birthday.
Yeah. But we appreciate all she's done about.
Oh, she's done a great,
Yeah.
fantastic job on
Lots of
Facebook.
good stuff.
Yeah. One of the things we learned is like from our father's letters from,
Yeah.
Korea.
Letters to Korea from grandmother too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
From grandmother.
Grandmother, this house was originally, has saved everything, and we didn't know that for years. It was in boxes in the attic, and we finally, Amber has unearthed all kinds of information, and it's all wonderful to know, and she's documented it and digitalized it. So
And that led her to other places that she found more information,
that wasn't-
right?
There's hundreds of letters, yeah.
But you still haven't read them all.
Yeah, I haven't read them all. There's
But
so many.
the goal is to get them scanned so that eventually they can be read by anybody.
Yeah.
And
Well,
same
tell-
for the pictures.
Tell about the one with, our daddy in Korea. That was a happy story where he was the hero.
Well, they sent buttons home, they got shot off of them. Did anybody ever believe that? You
Yeah.
remember,
Well,
Amber believes it.
there were broken buttons and supposedly he was building a bridge and
I think that's probably even in something like that in one, the letters even, there's something about it. He definitely
it's
was in,
It's documented in the letters.
yes.
He
And
got his buttons shot off, I didn't read.
Well, he was in very,
was he a captain then, or
what?
was he a captain?
when,
Well,
he
then-
No,
was-
he's lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
yeah, I think
So he took a group of engineers, Corps of Engineers, in to repair a bridge, right?
To build it.
To build it where they could get the tanks out, which were getting ready to be overtaken by the North Koreans.
Yeah.
So they went in there and had to do it fast and did it, and then got the tanks out, and he got a Bronze Star for that.
Yeah,
Several commendations. I
yeah,
think.
several, but it
Yeah.
was almost impossible job.
It
and
was
they-
in the winter with lots of snow.
everything that could be wrong at that time, and they did it and did it well. And it was really pretty,
It was- It was
Saved a lot of lives.
noted, and saved a lot of equipment and lives, but, so they got out. There was a story about a young boy that had lost his legs, right, that, was going along.
He was walking
following.
without his
Well, he
legs.
was, I mean, he was Korean, but the different soldiers had sort of took up for him, and he was hanging out with the different troops as they were moving. Is that correct?
I don't remember that story.
Well, anyway,
It
he's
was
dead
in
now.
one of the letters. But,
That's for sure.
but he was, it's like a mascot for the troops, which was pretty neat. Because, he probably got hurt in the war, and then he didn't have a family, so the family was some of the troops.
Yeah.
But we can move on from that. I mean, it's just so much. But let's get a little bit to Alice, even though we were.
Alice who?
She was Alice. How'd you get your name, Alice Lorraine?
Well, I know my grandmother, Maggie Alice. Was it Maggie Alice? Wasn't it? What Margaret? Maggie Alice is where I got the Alice, but actually I was born in France, and Alsace-Lorraine is what I've always heard. The two regions of France, Alsace-Lorraine, was Alice Lorraine. But I also know that she had a good friend named Lorraine.
Yeah.
So
The
between grandmother and the friend.
the Datler family, he was also a captain, was another American family in the same village we lived in, and they were, mother and daddy were very good friends with, it was Johnny and Lorraine Datler. And they were just very good friends. They had little girls that were Joe's age. I was older than, but nice family, and they were very close. And I do think, as much as the Alsace-Lorraine, it is Lorraine Datler's part of the reason.
That's not the story I heard.
I don't wanna know. She,
They were gonna name her Dallas, and somebody else said, well, how about Alice?
So it was Dallas Alice.
That's the story I heard.
Well, let's get on to me real quickly.
Oh, I couldn't wait.
Yeah. My name is Joseph Waldon Davis. So I was named after my uncle, our uncle Joseph, and there were other Josephs before him, but the Waldon is after my father,
Question here.
John Waldon
What is
Davis.
the spelling of Waldon?
W-A-L-D-O-N.
Okay, you got it right.
I know Scott Waldon and his son Waldon
So
all
you're-
want to
yeah.
know.
They keep asking me, I don't
it's
know.
O-N, isn't it?
It's Owen,
That's
yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
your
Owen,
son was
Owen.
named Scott Waldon, and then his son is named, what's his first name? My name, they call him Walden.
Yeah,
What's his full
Is it
name, do you
right?
know?
yes, man. I got so many.
Walden
Yeah, you
Davis,
do.
though.
You do have a lot.
I wonder
Okay.
if, is it John Walden? They call him Walden?
I can't remember.
Scott looks
Well,
the most
before
like
we're
him.
through here, maybe it'll come to you. So you just jump in anytime you want to.
I can text him.
Interrupt what I'm
Anyway,
saying, you know.
he's a really great kid.
He is, with a nice family.
Yeah, okay, so, I'll tell this about my name, because it doesn't really, the stories we've heard doesn't really make sense exactly. My father, John Waldon Davis, was born in 1924,
Yes.
and that is the year of presidential election, and Pop Sarge, my Mary, his parents, liked, I think, a candidate a guy named John Waldon Davis. And so that's where they got the name Waldon, we think.
Oh, okay.
And so it
He
carried
was
on.
running
But
for.
the Democratic Party was split that year, and it took 101 ballots before they finally got a candidate to run for president. And that's when they did things in the back rooms, more so than, they didn't have elected primaries like they do now. So it's there's no chance he's gonna be president because it's split, but they still use his name. But I've looked and I don't see anybody named John Waldon Davis. I just see a John Davis that was a candidate back then.
Well, you know where the John come from,
His father, well, Johnny Ray.
John the Baptist.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
I didn't know that. So his name was Pop Sarge, but it was John Henry, and he didn't like Henry, right? Pop Sarge's real name was John Henry Davis, and did he take away the Henry because he didn't really like it, but he had that name. And then, okay,
But then Henry is one of.
Yeah, I got a
Roger's
friend
kids.
named Henry, and Mary's got a dog named Henry.
yeah. So,
That's
Yes.
another story.
yeah.
Ray has 4 kids.
Yeah, Ray is, we don't need to get into everybody.
That's
But,
pretty big
okay,
group.
so, let's see, that's our names and what else we wanna talk about?
So we covered birthdays.
We should have done this 10 years ago when y'all could have remembered something.
True.
We can do it 10 years from now and see if it changes.
Yeah.
That would be a feat, doing it for 10 years.
Okay.
All right, everybody knows there's a couple of us won't be here then.
Maybe.
I'm going to
But
the
the
military room.
visitation, we'll get back to that, was in this house. The room right through there which is really a bedroom most of the time, wasn't it?
Yes.
But that's where the casket was, against that far wall. People come view. And even though I was 4 years old, and I don't really remember it, I just remember being told about it. And that's where the neighbor Sue Adams got me after, because I was saying, well, let me get out of that casket. So, pitiful me, not knowing what was going on. They just took me out down by the
Yeah.
river.
You wanna know why he was sleeping and
Yeah.
didn't look like him, you
Yeah.
said, didn't look like my daddy,
But that was a sad time
Yeah.
for all of us, but for mother to be left with 4 kids, has always thought about that. It just took her a while to get her bearings. Moved to Warren Robinson, probably 64, so he died in 57, so it was a good many years later that she remarried in 64. And John Loudon, and then moved to Florida. And that's where Janice and Jay came along.
Yeah.
Moved first to Tampa, then to Lake City, and then back up to Warner Robins, just to catch folks up on mother a little bit. And then she died 17 years ago. What year would that have been?
Oh, wait.
08. But by that time she'd married Woodrow Sullivan and had moved to Hawkinsville, and he passed away earlier. And the last 3 years she was in nursing or assisted living.
Yeah.
And but she passed away really after a stroke, and just a week in the hospital.
She had a stroke.
What was it that she had?
She got
She had pneumonia.
She didn't have a stroke. She
I'd
got
like to tell a little
pneumonia.
story here about mother. She came to me and said that she found a pair of black leather pants at Rich's. She wanted me to buy them for her. So I said, okay, and this was on a Wednesday. And she went out dancing Wednesday night and died Friday.
Are you kidding?
He
No.
is kidding.
No,
She
no.
bought but why did she want you to buy them?
Because she thought I had money.
Oh.
I guess, because it's $135.
Oh,
Was this when she
really?
was at the assisted living?
No.
No, not mother.
Who
Who'd
you
you
talking about?
say?
Her mother.
You talking about Bonnie?
No, I
Mother?
talk about our mother.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you have.
Well,
She wasn't in assisted living.
Yes.
What year
She
was it?
never went.
Yes.
She was
she
there
had
for-
it off of-
She was in assisted living for
What
3
year?
years.
What
You
year
never
was?
saw her there. You
You
never
didn't-
went there, did you?
She had, no, I didn't know she was in there. But I knew she had pneumonia and nothing was working on her.
That's right.
Yeah, they went from Hawkinsville to Emory, and I remember her going, when she was still pretty lucid, she said, where am I?
Yeah.
we said Emory and she goes, ooh,
Yeah.
Emory. She was impressed.
Yeah, that was, y'all were all mixed up about timing though.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
think those black leather pants must have been years earlier. You're saying she died a few days later?
I know she went dancing with them, that's what she wanted them.
Well, let me tell a true story. I think even Alice's, I don't think is completely true, what you just said.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true about Emory.
I was the one that was able to go to Hawkinsville in the hospital, cause that's, whatever the health event was, they found her in the floor in the bathroom at her unit there. And so they took her to the hospital, and she was admitted in Hawkinsville, and she was admitted. And so I drove from Chatsworth down
Was she
there.
conscious then?
Yes, that's what I'm getting ready to tell. They brought her supper, and she wasn't hungry, so I ate it. And then.
You ate her last
And we
meal?
talked, I ate her last meal, so we had a conversation, and one of the things is she was lucid, she was okay, but she had an event after supper and I didn't think she became conscious again, but before that, when I was sitting there talking to her, and I say, yeah, man, I just ate some of it, as she was there, she said, do I have any money for a funeral? And I said, yes, you're in assisted living, and we, sold your house, and the money's in the bank, so you've got plenty of money for a funeral. And she said, isn't that amazing how that just worked out?
Yeah.
Because she never saved,
Yeah,
but the money was there because of the selling of the house and all that. And she went, isn't that wonderful? That just worked out. And then she had another event, and they basically took her away so that she was still at the hospital. And then it took several hours to make a decision where to take her. And they tried to get her into several hospitals in Macon, and they were full. And so they ended up taking her to Emory. And I drove through the night and to get to Emory, barely stay awake to get up there, and then everybody else came to Emory to see her. And I didn't remember her she may have been lucid again enough to barely say Emory, and that's good, but she really didn't have much of a conversation.
You were there too, weren't
But
you?
she
Well,
had pneumonia.
Actually, I have a different version because I wasn't there, but it was Jessica's graduation from Florida State, and we were down there, and Mother called me, and we were in the hotel room getting ready to leave, to come back home. Graduation had happened, if I remember right, and all I could hear was raspy, help me, help me. I said, Mother, like, what's happening? And I couldn't make her say anything.
I was on the phone?
Yes. And I thought, here I am at this far away. Anyway, called first Kingston, then Janice. And that's the last I sort of knew. And you were the one I heard from after that, because you were the one, I don't know if
Somebody
Janice
called
called.
me, probably
May have been-
Janice.
Yeah. it was-
Somebody
See, I was always her favorite.
Well, here's why. Just,
It's true.
because I thought I was
Is
the
that
favorite.
true?
Well, I mean, she would say, Ray's so wonderful, and Ray this, and Jay this, and
Well,
Jay that, and
okay.
Joe this, and Joe.
Okay,
Who did
here's what
everything
really-
for
here's
the
why.
girls?
Here's why. You never called her, I never called her.
So she
Mimi and Alice never called her. Jay only called her when he wanted something, but,
Right, we
so
never-
y'all
what do you
called
mean
her
we
all
never-
the time.
oh,
Y'all
yeah.
called her all the time,
We
so
did.
it's no big deal. They call her that time.
Yeah,
she's
but
getting-
y'all were a big deal.
So since, I call once a month, and so it's just, oh, I got a call from Joe, isn't that wonderful?
And
Yeah,
Grace,
that's all he
Grace
talked about.
would make up a Christmas package from Joe. And Joe would be wonderful, and Grace had done everything for her. And same I would do for Jay and say, Jay brought this for you or whatever. How does he know what I like? And all.
So why were you in Hawkinsville? You went,
I drove down because
Yeah.
she was in the hospital.
Yeah.
oh, I
So
thought you were
the
there
event
when they took
happened
her
in
to
the
the
first one in the
hospital.
morning, and then I got there the time, late afternoon, supper time.
But at some point,
So
you
go
told me where you were going. We went as fast as we could by Athens so I could get clothes, and we met you up there. And then you and I were the one, when you say this, she didn't really talk, but she
No, she went like
acknowledged.
this.
Yeah,
She
acknowledged,
definitely was
yeah.
cognizant and lucid.
Yeah,
She was like, going,
but she
But,
didn't really
but she
talk.
was pretty much, her functions were leaving, weren't they?
Yes.
So they told us that it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
well, when she was Hawkinsville, you didn't think she was dying, did
She
you?
wasn't until that event happened
The second-
right after supper. or about the supper hour, you know.
That was on a
And
Wednesday.
I don't remember the day
And
of
she
the
had
week.
been to, water
When did
aerobics.
the
That was when
ammonia
she
come
went to
in?
water aerobics. This
Was
was a little
Wednesday.
bit, but
Ammonia.
it was a little bit later, maybe.
Pneumonia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
right.
later,
I
but
didn't know that she had pneumonia. I thought it was some kind of,
No, pneumonia is what?
that's on her death certificate, that's what I heard.
2 weeks before on her birthday, or approximately 2 weeks,
Yeah.
who was down there, y'all went on the lake.
She had 4 major celebrations for
For her
her
birthday.
84th birthday,
84th.
yeah.
We were on the pontoon with your daughter Jennifer.
One time was one of the celebrations, we went to Marietta, to Peachtree City with Gil and Susan, but Morel, that was to get
Yeah.
together with her. We went to the old Atlanta house and all, saw all that then, 2 weeks before she died. And
And she
also, we had the whole Kingsford community went to a restaurant for her birthday celebration, and then just family stuff, so she had 4 pretty major things, and loved every one of them.
I don't think I was at any of them.
Oh, you were invited, don't forget
I
it.
don't know that I was at any, I may have been at one.
Well, I don't wanna do this on camera, but
Go ahead.
I said, Joe, I really feel like you ought to come. Well, no, I've got other things to do. That was exactly what it was.
But he ran down there on the day that
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
was
I
bad.
bet.
But what I remember is getting a call from Joe on Wednesday saying she's in the hospital, I think she's gonna be okay. And then I remember the first time I think I ever heard you cry, you called me on Saturday going, you gotta come,
Yeah.
or something like that, that it's probably the end.
Well, let's talk about a happier time. How about when she was, princess of,
Yeah,
Cherry
Well,
Blossom.
Cherry
Cherry
Blossom,
Blossom, yeah.
senior queen
yeah, she gave all the credit to me for being able
for making.
Being able to what?
to cinch the title.
Oh,
That's it.
cause you were in the know in Macon.
Right, I was living downtown,
Mm-hmm.
and the parade come by the house.
Mm-hmm.
That was an interesting house you had on College Street. It's right near the end, wasn't it, near Riverside?
Yeah, it was on corner of Walnut and College Street.
It had an elevator in the house.
Yeah.
That was a good house.
Could not air condition that sucker.
Is that right?
And at $1,400 a month was the air conditioning bill, and it never was right.
Oh, gosh.
I called George Powell and I said, this house was built in 1870, and we didn't even know about air conditioning. And he says, this house was built to breathe, it wasn't built to cool. So we sold
Breathe.
it.
So you sold it.
We sold it, and people that moved in put a couple of more units in. Had 9 fireplaces in that thing, so it was, you could heat it, but it's one room at a time.
Okay. You want
Why
to-
don't you talk, how about this is a different topic, why don't you guys talk about the summers you spent here,
Okay, yeah.
and you spent a year here, or almost a year once.
Yeah.
We-
What'd you say, 2 years?
We
spent
spent
8
different times here with grandmother. What do you remember about your times here with her?
I remember went to school here, the kind of next door was Pinley.
Wayne
Pinson.
Pinson was superintendent.
No,
No,
Yeah, a
he's a
teacher.
principal. He's a teacher.
He was
now.
at one time superintendent.
well, I went to Altoona with him one summer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Altoona was a summer camp, I think, is what they were.
Oh.
Anyway, I was big cheese because I was with the main guy.
Mimi, what is it that the story you talked about Ray getting in trouble from grandmother outside?
He's talked about it earlier today. He jumped off the woodshed. Is that what you-
Oh, I don't
Well,
know.
actually, I told him that'd probably be a good idea for him to do that.
Yeah, as long as I had an umbrella and a cape, I was
Yeah,
okay.
that's why, and he did that. You lived
Yeah,
to
my
take-
grandmother didn't like that at
No,
all.
she did. We weren't
Oh,
supposed
that was here, I thought it was in the Atlanta house.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Oh,
it was
Back-
back here.
that
So
woodshed.
you talked him into it,
Well,
but it
sort
didn't
of.
take much talking, right?
Sort of, but.
Yeah, well,
So you
the
jumped
other
off
side
with
of
a
that
cape
story
and an
that
umbrella.
that had been told is she'd started off her wanting me to jump off the roof.
No.
And I said, no, I don't think the umbrella's gonna work.
But it might for the woodshed. It might for the woodshed.
And you did it, did you get
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it was terrible. I still remember the pain.
No, I can remember you just rolled around out there.
Writhing in pain.
And then I decided not to do it. I was gonna do it after.
Yeah.
Okay. So
About
when
that time, grandmother come out
Yeah.
there and got hold of that chicken with a net. And rung that sucker around like, you remember that?
Well, I know that happened, but
And
I
then
don't
throw
like
it
to
down on
think
the
about
stump
it.
and, you know, chop his head off and throw a pillowcase on it and let it run around the yard.
And,
Oh,
and
the
my, I
good old
remember,
days.
and Mom Mary and down at Mom Mary Pop Sarge, they did that.
So that was entertainment in the old days.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
it
That
was
was the-
food, it was the way you ate.
Got a question
Yes.
that, who, as teenagers, y'all played out there, there's a barn, I believe, but, the
Go.
neighbors, who all joined you in playing? And tell about the time that Ray married Melba.
That was one of the times,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it was a garage, and the, house that has now been, was on the street, got moved back. It was still there then, but it was the garage for that house.
Yeah.
And we used it for plays, dramas. It had a little side door where you could dress, change clothes, and Glenda Reese was the one who could sing. So she always had that kind of part of her show. And, anyway, we decided one time, Ray and Melba, who lived in this house next door, were sort of sweet on each other. We decided a wedding would be a great production.
Well,
So-
I was sweet on her, she didn't care nothing about me.
Well, I don't know that I remember. She agreed to the wedding and all.
Well, she-
That must mean something, Ray. I think she must have liked it. She agreed.
But I
never
don't-
felt it.
And we were probably all of 10, 12 or something, 10, yeah.
Okay.
But maybe not, maybe 7 or 8. But,
So the wedding got.
I don't remember a whole lot about it except that that was, and we did all kinds of things, comedy, any kind of, Sue Ell had a big imagination, and Sue Ell and Melba and Glenda, and, me and Ray when he was here. We weren't always here at the same time. He came and visited with grandmother. We had our special times with her. And his was, he has a lot of memories I don't have about going down the river and all. We were told not to go to the river. I never went to the river because I did what I was supposed to. He went to the river every time he came, and I don't know anything about that. But he did things he wasn't supposed to do a lot, and I didn't.
But you went to the river with Uncle Joseph. too.
Uh-huh, yeah. I
You-
went
did
by
you go
myself,
along?
too. Yeah, I went by myself
Yeah,
too.
I knew
I never carried weapons, but,
But y'all shot squirrels somehow.
yeah, when Joseph was with me. we
Well,
did.
not by
But
yourself.
now, probably 2 doors up from the river, this lady, this old lady, well, she wasn't as old as me, but she was old, and she had a TV in the basement. And she was the only one, as far as I knew, in this town that had an antenna.
That were, the TV were.
Barely, but it was snow ridden.
Yeah,
But, we would watch the Dinah Shore show.
okay.
30 minutes on a Saturday night, so we'd anticipate that Saturday night. The Dinah Shore show. Remember that? You remember?
Just,
I don't remember that. I don't remember any TV working up here.
just for the record, Joe and I went down to the river too when we weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Joe
I'm
never
the
got-
only person that goes
Joe-
by the rules.
I think Joe took me. I think that's probably
Well,
true. You're the
this-
only one
When we
going.
say in 2 rivers, you know, the big bridge that was built in 1948, we go look there, look over the side, or go, but there, you go across the street behind what was the funeral home, there was a covered bridge that was dilapidated even then. And it was, you could walk across it, but it was dangerous because you couldn't drive, there's
Not
condemned.
supposed to go there.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Alice and I some, and,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
just to look and, you
I
know, see.
remember that it was okay to sneak across and then it wasn't. There's
Yeah,
no
if
way
that
we
was-
should.
How much time we got going so far? About 30 minutes?
You mean already done?
I don't have my glasses on. It could be 38, it could be 48, it could be 58. I can't read it.
Probably 30.
Lord have mercy, nobody's gonna watch this.
No, we can stop it in a second. Is there anything we need to cover that we haven't?
I wanted to cover whether it's true or not, Ray shooting an apple off your head with a BB gun.
No, I can
No,
tell
no,
that story. It wasn't an apple.
No, it was, could I shoot a blank BB gun right at his face?
Yes, and I went to the
Mother was
hospital
doing
over
over
that.
about 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I got an indention in my nose from that. We were
BB.
sitting around the living room at Fort Stewart, I believe.
Uh,
Okay, and I was what, probably 4 years old,
Yeah.
you know, a little older maybe. And Ray.
You were old enough to scream and cry like a baby.
Well, when somebody shoots in the nose, that happens. But we were waiting for Mother to come home from work, and I guess Alice was too young, but she was in the house somewhere. and, y'all were looking, and Ray would point that, this is probably a Daisy BB gun, pointed at me, and then Mimi would say, don't point that gun at him.
I don't even
And Ray would say,
remember.
I'm not, you know, and then Mimi would turn to Ray, and Ray would do it again, and somehow the trigger got pulled and I got shot.
Well,
And-
I did it, so I remember.
Okay, well, let me finish my version.
Okay.
So about the time that I get shot and I'm screaming or whatever, the blood's coming out, Mother drives into the driveway, and she throws me in the car and takes me to the hospital.
So they can piece the BB out.
Yeah, well, that was major surgery, but they put a blanket over me with a hole big enough for them to see my nose,
That's
and they went
pretty
in there with
cool.
tweezers and pulled out the BB, and as a souvenir for a while. And I went, I survived, and you know,
You got
But,
a
yeah,
dick,
well, my
you got a
version-
Dickens nose.
My version, that I'd been shooting that gun all afternoon with no BBs. It had no BBs in it. So it wasn't any risk. I was just wanting a puff of air to go there and that BB service.
How far away were you?
Across the room.
Probably 18 inches, would you think?
Oh,
You were, oh, was it? You were outside?
No,
No,
it was in the living
And
room.
there was a
Oh, it was
picture
in the
window, so
living room.
it's the way I remember it, so we could see Mother when she found it. It was basically killing time waiting for Mother to come home.
Yeah.
Killing time.
Yeah, so, but Big Sister Minnie was trying to stop Ray
I
from
don't,
doing
I think I failed.
That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
familiar.
That was a
Me
failure.
trying to
That was
stop-
one of
I
my
didn't pay no
failures.
attention to
But
anything. she
the other
said.
time I visited the hospital as a preschooler was, I had a cold or something like that, so Mother took me out to the hospital. And we went by the pharmacy and got some cough syrup. And on the way home, that's when you didn't have seatbelts. I was sitting on the front seat next to Mother on the way home.
Drank the whole bottle.
Bottle up. And then she looked over at me and, whoa, and turned around and took me back and they pumped my stomach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I survived that one too.
I don't remember that.
We weren't there, I guess.
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah.
I don't know why she pumped your stomach.
Okay.
You're so bad.
Any other,
I could tell a story about, this was a sad story about, I was 21 months old when our daddy died, and I was told I used to go to the window every day at 5 when he would come home from work and go, Daddy come Mom, Daddy come Mom, every time Mama or Mother or whatever I'd call her, but everybody would start crying again every day when I would say that at the window. It was sad.
Okay, I gotta go to the men's room.
I do too. I gotta go to the men's room.